Everybody, thank you so much for joining me during this new moon, basically, as it is coming tomorrow. And I'm late because I've just been putting the book together for 2025. It is my seventh book, the book of predictions for the year. And yes, it is my seventh predictory book of its kind, although I have many more books that I've written than that. But okay, let's do this. Let's do this. If you'd like to have a look at the book or the books and purchase them, you may like to do that, and that is fine. Have a look at the links below. I will be posting them as soon as the book is available online, and it isn't. It isn't yet because I'm just a couple of days away from actually uploading it. So let's do this. The moon. Should I do the moon or should I do? Should I do the moon first or should I do the month? I will just do the moon right now. Okay. Okay. We have a very hard and deep transcendence as this moon. This kind of moon is deep for codependence. It is very illogical and irrational as it is in the water sign of Scorpio. And for a lot of us, it's very cruel, to see and feel and think and be so strange sometimes. A kind of strange bewildering feeling may occur and paradigms may shift. She's at a square to Mars and Pluto position. She doesn't really like things too intense, but she will have to have them so intense for cruelty of vision. And if you do have cruelty to you, and if you do like much ado, and if you have a certain hunger or desire, this moon is going to make things pop, but it's also going to make them fire back at that which you thought was going to grow and flourish. So please be careful during this moon because she doesn't like to nourish the deeper, darker, and depressing bits of us. And for this reason, there's quite a lot of lust and sensitivity that may arise during this time. A sudden need for change, a sudden need to buy and spend and do something ambitious. A new moon always will bring up something quite delicious and make you want to do the things you never thought you would. And then again, it's not so good for love and lust and depth because, oh man, we've got so much to do and not enough time. This moon is quite the moon. She'll change your paradigm, and also with this trine with Mercury and Neptune, Mars, and such. She is the friendly type of moon, and she will pick a bunch of friends sometimes or someone to discover. This moon is not a shy moon either. She does like to be there and empower, but yet again, with Lilith in the mix and Libra too, we've got too much emotional intensity and way too much ado, and yes, lust does knock upon the door. And here we have a very strange, deranged, and sudden core to an event that you simply didn't want to experience. And in a way, this means to me that there could be a lot of depth and vigilance, and in some context where desire comes around, this moon is not really the safest moon to play around. And such a moon means depth may come upon you if you're searching for despair or disintegration. This moon is quite a lucky moon, in fact, but if you like attention and if you really, really need to be somebody, this moon will definitely teach you quite the lesson. A hard look at anybody is the way to be. A very forward-thinking person, you might have to mean yourself into if you decide to be somebody yet anew. This moon does not like deviation from the past. She is not really the kind of moon that will be great for someone who's sudden or enjoys the feeling of extremes or lust, as she simply doesn't like to look at that which it doesn't understand. And though it may be kind of cruel, this moon will hold your hand if you really rely on something or really do enjoy. It really likes a warmth and kindness aspect. It does burden though and merge some things into something they shouldn't have ever been. In quite a lot of lives, this moon may feel obscene and strange and slightly, let's say, deranged, because it likes to just give you the answers. And the questions may not be the same. It's not a very kind and healthy time. Some people are just worried, they're benign, they do not have exactly that which they really do need or enjoy. And in a very strange experience, you may be but a toy in someone else's hands. This moon, though, truly does rejoice. She makes amends. She helps us claim a space we haven't yet been able um, to access. But she really doesn't like things to be best. It's not about the big, the mega, and the healthy yet. Although, with all due respect, we do have quite a neat and stable month to come. This moon will not really feel so good just to anyone, as she's slightly shabby and slightly not so good at stuff that she was better at before. This moon may close a very simple path to make a brand new door. It's kind of making do. A lot of this is hell for some, because in certain circumstances, this new moon is not really helpful to anyone. It's just kind of not really a welcome feeling. Sometimes this moon is very intimate and just revealing of the fact that we don't have enough or something's going wrong. And in some certain case, it is untidy, messy, or just so. It's quite a lukewarm type of thing eventually left over by this moon, because she doesn't really want things to be grand. She wants them to be here, and she wants them to be soon. She'll speed up certain life events for some, just to make sure that life is happy and it's normal and it's fun. But honestly, she doesn't want to do things that are just way too much. She doesn't want to be the trendiest of the bunch. The truth about this moon, she's just kind of making do. And maybe some of this is a little bit too drab for you, a little bit too shy, a little bit too codependent, because the feeling is that it's not really about slavery or being dormant. It's more just about being kind of sane and just okay. And in some cases, it is not really fulfilling, yet it stays. A new and neutral normal may become a very easy step. And certain simple yet enormous type of equations, it's a set up rule that Scorpio brings in. And the moon, she tries to make sure that you're just happy and just lukewarm and just okay with all the other guys. She doesn't really want you to extend outside of that which you've been building in your life. And then within itself may cause some strife, simply because the people in your life may want you to go much further and to do things that are great or grand or karmic in the end. But in some cases, if you really wish to do the big thing and to do it now, maybe it's not really the time, and it's not really going to be that wow factor that you're reaching for. So if you are looking at something very big that you're about to do, just close it off and be more sure on you than that. Are you making too much of a leap? Do you not see that it's just not sane and not really so proud? It may not be as sweet as that which you've imagined or that you've savored in your life before. You may not be actually available for that which you crave or which you are holding this door open for. It's not really for you sometimes, you know. Like, if you really had it in you, would you really care? And do you really want to stay around over there? Because some of this permanent and fixed sign energy is here. And that means that we have to check it out and think, do we really wish to be inside the portal or the box that we've designed to fit within. Do you believe in yourself in this new adventure, or do you feel that it is filled with sin, or do you feel it is not really you? So that's the thing. How true is true? Sometimes a person may enjoy a thing they don't have to do. Sometimes they might like some of that which isn't true, like just a bit too much to drink, a bit too much to think or make. Sometimes this moon may mean that we have a mistake. It's better to be solving that which needs to be resolved and let that problem be just simply shabbily and obviously solved. It's not really about making a meaning or debilitating self or others with events or core extremes. It's just about simply simplifying you and staying within your means. The best idea here is to be an obvious person, and excitement comes your way. It's not really about being too much, too interesting, and too intense. To sway away from that which you've been doing, you've been cooking, making, thinking, feeling, is just too much. This moon is too revealing, though. Inside each person, there's still a child, there's still a kid. Sometimes we have an inner and depressing need for something better than that which we've had before. And yet again, though we do have some mind lag in this window, we still ask for more. We still employ another person to do a job they shouldn't do. We're still paying way too much for a service. I've done this recently, and how about you? Just paying way too much for something that you could do yourself. Just try to look into your world with better eyes and thoughts and feelings. Make it safe. Make it just safe for others to enjoy. Don't overdo it, overspend it, or employ. Employment of a person here can be a real big karma and a dent in your career. So, for example, just enjoying that you shouldn't really do or think about or say or feel. Sometimes this moon just wants us to just patch things up and keep it real. Just make it sure that it is good for you and other people. Just make it safe for all, and keep it simple. In such a way, this moon will usually give you something very bland but clear. And if you are not really feeling it, maybe you're not really here, and that's also okay. It is okay to not really feel that amazing during the Scorpio moon. It's okay if it's kind of suddenly getting doom and gloom and you don't really care because that person is suffering over there. Because the price of life is way too high and yet too much. And everything is just so bunched and not really the way you want it all to be. And that's okay. That's also happening with me. It's quite all right to be a little bit disturbed by just the way that things have been or are. And it's just so easy to see old scars and also new lives. You can feel it, you can see it from afar, you know what's going to happen. This is a very psychic moon. And sometimes things happen by design and they can take a long, long time or happen way too soon. And way too quick means something has to change. And sometimes it is best to just stick it out and wait. Don't chase. Befriend somebody, rather. It's a very, very nice new moon for a wonderful person, a sister or brother that basically just belongs with you and plays it safe. It is okay to be all right. And not to just exclaim or teach or try or feel or fight. Because this moon does have a lot of friendliness to it, but yet a secret bite if something does go wrong. or just awry, and it can be just nasty and all the time suspicious too. And if you have this quiet temptation to cause a storm, yeah, why don't you? In some cases, yeah, it may be an easy moon for a storm or for some despair. Like, do you want to just suddenly cut off all your hair? Do you want to just suddenly say the thing you've been holding on to all your life? Do you suddenly want to just say no and honestly, like, divorce your wife? I don't know. How deep, how gross, how angry is that feeling? And yeah, sometimes with this type of sky, it's actually quite revealing. You can kind of see what for you'd have a certain feeling or discontent. And for a really paranoid and desperate person, perhaps it is the end, as we do have an aspect to the Piscean Saturn here. We have the Meta trine. And yes, a bit of fear can sometimes alleviate a long and boring process in the end. But you see, like, do you really have the time for all of this? Do you really have the capacity to comprehend how long and lowly may that process be? To start divorce papers today seems like 1, 2, 3, but this could take a month, a year, a lifetime to resolve. Not all of it's like this, but some things may be just so long, a long and karmic journey with this moon, an aspect and trine to Saturn here. And yeah, of course, you may want to do something small but deep, like cut off all your hair, but this is going to take a long time to grow again. So, yeah, of course, you can just play it softly, play it smoothly, and say, Amen. I do not care so much for big and global change right now. But in some cases, it is coming anyway. And maybe if you're very clean as a human, it is like, wow, I really didn't see that in myself before, and now I do. Wow, I'm really trying less and seeing you. And I want this to be happy rather than sad, dark, or depressing. I actually want to feel more confident and comfortable in my dressing and the way that I am feeling, the way that I'm seeing the world right now. And that may be kinder than to make it so implosive or explosive. And yeah, it is now that certain things will come to end and new beginnings. Soon you'll see the full potential of this moon. Right now, maybe as we speak, it is not really fully here, but in about a day or two after the moon, it'll be clear. You'll be like, whoa, I thought I was that, but I am this. I thought that I was a small person, but that is what I've missed. I've always been a large, expressive soul, but I was shy. Or I thought I was extraordinary, but I'm just a normal guy, and that makes me actually happy, or happier than I was before. And yeah, in a way, it's a very humble human core that this moon does enjoy with Mercury and crossroad between Scorpio and Sag, with Venus right up in the sky in opposition to this Jupiter. It's strange, but it is also very shallow and pragmatic, the way that things do truly feel. It's automatic. In some cases, we already have the law, the rules, and all of these feelings open wide and yes, resolved. In many cases, you may be just waking up, but the problem's solved. You've already got a certain dense and philosophical reality prepared for you before you start to search for what it all may mean. So do not worry, this moon is very padded, it is clean. There is already quite the answer for you in the end, after all. So you don't have to do that thing that people do with Scorpio energy. They try to have control. They try to reach that part within they cannot access usually. But sin is near, so try to lower your intensity and feel just how sincere with this Sagittarian Venus the sky can be. and how happy things can be for you, for me, for anybody really. It shouldn't be a lot of deep emotional and karmic trauma or excessive healing done in such a space and time. Because you see, it's very carefully knit, but yet what's yours and also mine. It's a very nice and neat, sensational idea to just feel incredibly blessed and pleased and just forever here. It is a nice and karmic evolution for us all. I feel that we are starting to lack issue and control. We do not wish to do those things we've done before, and yet there is another feeling and another door. So yet it's all kind of friendly and ambitious. And yes, a lot of flurry and magnetic feeling between people is delicious. It's also kind of yet unconscious after all, because there is a new wave that is emerging. There is a new path of the soul. There is a secret, quiet, yet obsessive feeling in some people, knowing that, yeah, they should just keep it simple, yet tomorrow brings another aspect near. And that is really hard for us sometimes, because here we feel one thing and yet we deserve another, you know. And maybe we're not so pleased with our lovers, or we just need something that's not that which we've got. And for this reason, with this moon comes a thought: can't I just leap? Can I not just jump into the arms of someone new? Can I not change my life just overnight? And not so much, I'd say. Just keep subdued, because the layers of your soul are changing as we speak. You do not have to push it out and leap. You do not have to end it and begin another thing. It's very insincere for those that bring chaos, but they are also needed and desired, because this moon does like to play with fire. It is okay if you are the bringer of a terrible concept during this time. It is okay if you are here playing in God's pantomime a very negative and crazy type of character indeed. It is okay. And seriously, come what may, Godspeed, because nobody really wants to get in your way, either thing you do, because nobody really has the time for that now, you know. So how are you? Do you really want to hold yourself together during this time in such a way? And here's where this moon is really actually gentle, and it will sway you out and through, away from fear, because maybe you just want something calm and gentle near. So this is also a great concept for us all. Don't you just want to just have love after all? Don't you just want to have a friend by your side? Don't you just want to make sure that you don't run and hide when you should really be an open door for other people? And sometimes things are not really that simple. It's not just about love, connection, and occasionally procreation. It's actually about also understanding your direction, as Venus in Sag really doesn't want you to be true. And at the end of the day, the question is, what do you do with this 8th house Scorpio situation? We do need to see where are you going, where are you steering, and what is your direction, and also why do you feel so low about the things that are high, and why do you sometimes harbor things within yourself inside that should be just obvious and obviously known. Occasionally this type of sky um, is dark for others, you know, because we are no longer there, we are no longer free, or there is something that just bothers, and it is so difficult to really understand which way the world is going. But there are always people here during this time, and there's no need for growing that which you don't want to grow. There's no real need to be a sad, depressed, and longing human. After all, there's faith and beauty in it all. And there's really no need for any kind of employment schemes, control, and all that stuff that Scorpio brings sometimes. It's just a wonderful design for many eyes. And yeah, eyes is something that's really important here because Jupiter is in Gemini. And Gemini does like a seer. To see and look and use your eyes is something very perfect after all, as Jupiter will help us see what is already here without having to control and birth something from depths that we don't even sometimes really have. And the culture is changing, yeah, and we don't need to behave the way that we have done some time ago. So yeah, the question is of ego and the growth you have. And I must go. So thank you very much for listening to my little poetry explosion. I hope it was okay. It didn't make you feel a mental erosion. I don't know. Never mind. Okay. Fusion, I don't know. I'm losing my rhymes. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to do the book. I mean, the book is already done, but I'm going to put it out there for fun. It is going to be on Kindle and it's going to be on Amazon. And I'm not rhyming in the book, but I'm channeling information for the year 2025. Have a look, and yes, you can have a look at my website. Yes, you can, and yes, you can book a reading if you'd like. And yes, you can join me also on Facebook and Instagram. It's absolutely acceptable. And yes, you can also subscribe to my channel and such. Thank you very much. Enjoy, and yeah. Happy. What is this? What's the actual word? Like it's like Day of the Dead, like the Halloween thing. Look at this thing. I bought it especially like at the supermarket. I couldn't say no to this situation. I couldn't really say no to this. I don't know why, and I couldn't quite commit. You know. Thank you very much. Enjoy, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful time.